YouTube? Welcome back to the End-to-End Podcast. We're coming at y'all with a brand new video. We're just going to talk about the UCL semifinal coming up. I think the next leg, first leg, sorry, is tomorrow. PSG versus Bayern. And then the day after, on Wednesday, there's Arsenal versus Atletico. So we're just going to have a general convo about both ties, give our thoughts, give our predictions, say what we think for both teams going into it, and what impact we think these ties are going to have on their seasons, respectively. Gunnar, I know you just hopped in, you started talking about the Arsenal tie. So, what do you think about Arsenal's chances going up against Atletico, bro?
Arsenal chances of against Atletico, it's huge. Given the fact that we've played Atletico before this season and we won up them 4-0. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be some easy game in the park because it's a different ball game at this point. It's a
Yeah,
semi-final game. It's a knockout round, so it gets more intensified.
yeah,
But there are injuries on both sides also, and they said Lukman is not going to feature in the first leg or something like that. I'm
I
not
didn't
sure
know that.
about that.
I didn't know that.
And because Lukman will be the only difference between the side that we played the last time we played
Yeah,
them 4-0. So I'm very, very confident. I am very, very confident. All we need to do is go to Atletico, do the job there, win convincingly, so that when we come back to the Emirates, it's just lock up shop. I don't care if we play haram ball. I'm all for it. I am all
I
for the
agree.
haram ball. I'm shameless. I don't care. Haram
No,
ball,
I
I
agree.
don't
I
care.
feel
No
like,
matter how we win the game, I do not care. Haram
like
ball
I was
our
gonna
way
say,
through the finals.
like the way I look at it, bro, it doesn't matter how we go through, as long as we go through. Genuinely, at this point in the season, like even with the league title, it doesn't matter. Like if we were to win the Premier League, I would not care if we scraped 4-1 results and somehow won it on. You know what I mean? Like it genuinely wouldn't change anything for me. It's all about if we can end the season with that trophy, and especially after that game against Man City, losing out on the Carabao Cup final and potentially the league. If we're looking at it from like Arteta's point of view, the way the fans feel about Arteta going forward, this might be the biggest game of Arteta's career as a manager because he's only managed Arsenal thus far. Like in terms of what this means, I mean, in terms of what I think this means, because there are some Arsenal fans saying he could choke and not win any trophies and still be in the job going into next season. Personally, I don't think so. Like, it's not even about what I think. I think the board will sack him. I think it's getting to a point where they want to see a return on investment because they've been investing heavily these past couple summers, and it's not the same group of owner. It's the same group, but whoever's in charge, it's as if for these past couple seasons they want to see Arsenal win. It's not just about making money and staying in the green every season, like making profit. They genuinely want to see the team grow and take it to another level. So I feel like they're at least gonna consider sacking Arteta this summer if we don't win a trophy. Personally, that's how I see it. I don't know about the rest of the Arsenal fans, but going into this game, this is a huge game. Like, there's nothing to lose. There's everything to gain. Arsenal have never won the Champions League. Arteta could go from being a villain in everybody's eyes right now to genuinely is Arteta the greatest Arsenal manager ever after this season, just off of winning the Champions League. That's how big this can be. I know that sounds crazy. The OG fans are he's not comparable to Wenger, this, that, the third. But if he wins the Champions League, those conversations are gonna be going on. Like you can't that he won the Champions League, bro. We've never won the Champions League. Like he can have a full 180 or he can end the season horribly and get sacked. It's that black and white the way I see it right now. ET, what do you think from a Man United's point of view? Do you think Arsenal have a chance against Atletico, or do you think Atletico's going to the final?
I think Arsenal definitely have a chance. Also, I looked it up. Lookman apparently is going to be playing.
Oh, okay.
Um, I think Arsenal definitely have a chance, but I'm gonna have to favor Atleti. Honestly, I feel like ever since that game against United, Arsenal haven't been the same. Um, I feel like
Wait,
it's just been
what game? All the way back in what, February?
in like January. Yeah.
Bro, this guy. You just want to take credit for Arsenal not winning, bro. That has nothing to
I
do with
feel
it.
like it was a fall off after that point though, dropping a lot of points. Obviously, you go out in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup.
Yeah.
I think I think Arteta does need to be sacked if you guys go trophyless this season. At this point, this would be embarrassing. Finishing second 4 straight times, especially when City have been getting worse, arguably over time, and you still are falling short. It just shows a lack of ruthlessness, a lack of just winning mentality. Like I feel like you can't go out to Southampton in the cup. Like he thought, this is just gonna be a game we're gonna get through, yada yada yada. It just didn't really work out. Also for this game, I just feel like Simeone, like he's been here before. He knows what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Like
He has experience on the side for sure.
he's just I don't know. I feel like if I'm gonna have to go Simeone or Arteta, that's where I'm gonna have to go. Honestly,
I
Simeone.
hear that. It's just like you said, it goes both ways. Simeone has the experience on his side. I feel like he's been here before. But we also have to look at the fact that this Arsenal side, to me, has more depth than this Atletico side, and they have a better starting 11. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in terms of player quality, Arsenal have a better team. That's why I feel like I get the like why you don't want to just say Arsenal is going to be Atletico. I get why there's like this. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I get it because Simeone is a ruthless manager who has taken teams that shouldn't get to the. For example, a lot of the teams that Simeone got to the Champions League final with, for example, 2014, I think 2017 when they lost again when Ronaldo scored the pen. I'm not sure those years are correct, but I know it's twice. You could say those teams weren't supposed, like they overperformed in Europe. They beat Bayern Munich that one season. They eliminated Barca back in 2013. Like they constantly overperform. So this is nothing that Simeone hasn't achieved before, is the point I'm trying to make. I get it. But it goes both ways. Arteta has beaten Simeone, completely outclassed them at the start of the season in terms of the way the teams were set up tactically. And Arteta has better players at his disposal. Arteta has more options. He has a better back line, a better front. The only thing, yeah, you could argue that Julian Alvarez alone is better than Arsenal's front three. I wouldn't sit here and argue that.
Lookman too.
But
Actually
Julian
no.
Alvarez, Julian Alvarez
Lookman,
has been insane all year.
Lookman versus
But
Eze is actually
they're kind
decent.
of the same player. They represent the same things in their teams, in my opinion. They're just action finishers. They're not really impacting the build-up for all the whole game. But if you want somebody to get the ball on the edge of the box, it's probably Lookman. It's probably Eze. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of what I think going into this game, I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna scrape a result. Like I don't think it's gonna look pretty. I don't think it's gonna be comfortable at all. I think it's gonna end maybe 2-1. I'm not sure. That's what I'm predicting though. But before we move on, Gunnar, I saw while ET was talking about Arteta being sacked, you were shaking your head in disagreement. What
I
do you have?
don't think Ateta is going to be fired. I'm sorry. If
Do you think he
Ateta
should be
doesn't come
fired?
off
Do you
with
think he should be
anything,
fired though? That's a better
he
question.
should
Like,
he should be, but he won't be. And I'll
okay,
tell you a reason why he
okay,
won't be.
okay.
When was the last time Arsenal made a semi-final of the Champions League back to back? Can you name any
Back to
time?
back, no. I was gonna say when
Listen,
Ronaldo
you
scored
see,
free kick, but back to back, yeah.
I understand the fact that fans right now are glory hunters, right? They out for trophies. If you're not winning trophies, you're not a good team.
Yeah.
That's a big lie. The only thing about trophies is that it just crowns your efforts, right? That's the good thing about trophies. It crowns your effort. And everybody wants to win trophies. Everybody wants to have that, trophy at the end of the season to say, oh yeah, this is what we brought out of the of it. But I'm sorry, man. I've been I've seen an Arsenal side, yeah, that's played Mustafi in the back,
Okay.
Socrates in the back,
Okay.
played
Okay.
played Skilacci in the
No,
back.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
So, bro, I didn't just start supporting Arsenal. I've
Yeah,
supported
I get
Arsenal
what you're saying.
since
I thought you were going in a
'98, bro.
different direction, but okay. I hear
So
you. I hear
so
you.
I understand what it means to win trophies. And I also understand what it means to go through turmoil,
But
right?
do you think he is a stepping stone manager?
Let me tell you something. No, let me tell you, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, Klopp did not win anything for Liverpool until his fifth season. He brought Liverpool from a
It was the
30-year
Europa League. Yeah,
trophy
that's true.
drought. 30 years trophy drought. Mourinho did not win anything for Chelsea until his first season. He won it in his first season, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
I was about to
Chelsea
say.
came from a 50-year trophy drought. This is what
Yeah,
people are just forgetting, right?
yeah, yeah.
Arsenal's just 20. Manchester United is going on 10.
No,
They're
Premier
going
League.
on
You're talking about
10.
league title. You're talking about league title.
I'm talking about league title, yeah? They're
Okay,
going on
okay.
10 right now, right?
Yeah.
So, like, everybody's just glory hunting and, oh, if you don't win a trophy, no. Bro,
I
there
mean,
are steps. There are steps to
yes,
win trophies, right?
I hear you. I hear you. I
There are
think
there
I
are
agree.
steps to win trophies. I'm telling you, bro. We've come from the invincible side, right? I thank God I was privileged to see the Arsenal invincible side, right? Win that trophy that year. I'm 33. So I've come from that that's Arsenal team to seeing an Arsenal team that has struggled over the years to seeing somebody
No,
pick
yeah.
Arsenal from the rubbles, yeah, win an FA Cup in his first season, where people even were talking about, oh, it's just FA Cup. The same FA Cup that everybody is glorifying right now.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
when Wenger was talking about, oh, finishing fourth, how finishing fourth in the Premier League is part of the greatest things that you can do in the Premier League. Everybody was laughing at him, but everybody's now struggling to finish
No,
fourth.
yeah. This Wenger statement.
Manchester United are praying that they finish top four.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we
Chelsea are praying that
finished
they
we
finish top four.
finished like
Liverpool are
15th.
praying that they finish top four, right? But you want to clown me for finishing second? You wish you were in my position. You wish. I'm telling you, mind you, Chelsea, Liverpool, they wish they were in Arsenal's position, fighting for a title. Finishing, man, you
I,
would love to finish
I'd say
second
yes
three
and
seasons
no.
in a
I'd
row.
say yes and no. Like
yeah,
I get what you're saying,
So
hundred
no,
percent.
no, no. I get it, right? I want to win a trophy. I want to get that feeling of winning a trophy again, right? I know what it felt like winning that trophy, you know, in the banter years, right? Winning the FA Cup back to back,
Yeah.
and then winning it again during the Arteta era. I
You
know
don't
what
feel
it
like the
means.
club's going anywhere. Yeah, yeah.
See, I feel, but if you coming from 6 years ago, right, when it was nothing, absolutely nothing happening in the club. We were just being bantered left and right.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing, and guess what? That time we were playing beautiful football. And we used to get clowned for playing beautiful football and not being pragmatic, right? Oh, you're playing. Now we're getting. I don't get it. So that's what I'm telling you. I'm saying, like, Arteta is not going anywhere. I'm sorry, because this is the man that has brought
No, I
Arsenal
hear
from.
it. I hear it. I hear it.
He's the man that has brought Arsenal from the shit years, yeah, up onto now, right now, where it's like I'm sorry, you're scared to get on the field to play against Arsenal. Every
Yes
team is
and
scared
no.
to
That's
get
the
on the
um,
thing.
field to play
Everything
against
you're
Arsenal.
saying, okay, Gunner, okay. Everything you're saying, it's like yes and no. For example, the first point about um going from winning trophies and
Mhm,
your team not going anywhere, like you don't see the direction you're going into with the future. And Arteta has brought you into basically the opposite, where you're not winning trophies, but
mhm.
you're constantly looking forward. You know, you have young players, you know, you're constantly going to challenge for
Facts.
major trophies where you never had a chance at doing that. I
Mhm,
get that. I get that mentality. But rival fans are always going to see it as you being this amazing team
mhm.
that constantly fails to climb that final hurdle. You know what I mean?
Bro, don't
And
get me wrong.
hold on, no,
Bro,
no.
don't get me wrong. I
Let me
want
say
to
one
win
more
trophies.
thing. Huh?
I want to win trophies, right?
No, yeah, you said that. I
I
hear you.
want to win
But
trophies. Like,
how,
I'm hungry for
Gunnar,
it.
let me ask you, how many teams, for example, in the past, who, in terms of the way they played football and their point totals, were amazing teams, world-class teams, some of the greatest teams ever, for example. But because they didn't win those trophies, because one other team was better than them, they're not going to
Mhm.
be remembered in history as they
Facts.
should. Those
You're right.
managers, for example, that Liverpool side with Torres and Gerrard, who was their manager? Benitez, I think,
Yes,
that
it
old
was
guy.
Benitez.
He's one of the greatest prem managers ever, but you'll never see him in those lists because he was constantly losing to Fergie, he was constantly losing to Mourinho, even though he was going up against one of the greatest teams ever. The context doesn't really matter if you don't find a way to win one or two trophies. You know what I mean? That's Klopp got away with murder, bro. Klopp winning that one league title saved his legacy so much. If Klopp went 6, 7 years getting 98 points, 97 points, 96 points, and never actually beating Pep, we would all talk about Klopp. Oh, streets won't forget Klopp. Klopp was this. Klopp would not be in these greatest manager ever conversations. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to understand the other point of view too. That
Oh, I
Arteta,
do. I do. Listen, bro. I want to win trophies this season.
I believe
If
you. I
you
believe
give me,
you.
if you give me only the Premier League, I'm good with it,
I
right?
agree. I
Because
said
you
that
know
at the
why?
start
You know
of the
why?
year.
That sets a tone to win more next season,
I'd rather
right?
win the Prem than win the UCL right now, bro. I want to beat Pep Guardiola so
I,
bad.
I want to.
Seeing
No,
that
I
guy,
want to beat Pep before
seeing
he
that guy.
leaves. I want to beat Pep before he leaves.
He's
But
gonna
here's the
beat us
thing.
and then leave. He's gonna leave as a winner. That shit infuriates me. Like,
Exactly. That's the thing that
infuriates me,
pisses
bro.
me off. I want to beat him
And
this
then
season.
Arteta's gonna win the next year, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, Pep had to leave for him to win."
Exactly.
Oh my
Bro,
god!
but here's the thing though. But here's the thing, bro. Even though Ateta wins this season and somehow wins the Champions League this season, they're still not gonna regard him as a great Premier League manager.
Yes
You know
and no.
why?
Yes and no. I
You know
agree.
why? They're still gonna banter him and be like, "Oh my God, you won it
But
when
it
Pep was
won't
at his
matter.
lowest."
I agree, but it won't matter, especially to us. Okay. Because a big reason why the banter is so prominent is because it actually works. Like Arsenal fans are actually affected by what these people say. You can even see some Arsenal fans genuinely switch their beliefs. Some Arsenal fans go from believing in certain players and believing in the manager to not believing in certain players and not believing in certain managers because of what these rival fans are saying. If you cross that line and win the Premier League or win the Champions League, you don't care that the Chelsea fan is telling you Neto's better than
True,
Martinelli.
true,
You
true.
don't care that the Liverpool fan is telling you what does Odegaard do. Odegaard has a Premier League title. You know what I mean? These trophies, yes, like I agree with you in the sense that the trophy isn't the end all be all. You shouldn't go taking huge risk and potentially messing up your whole process just to try to win one trophy and then you fuck up
Facts.
everything else. I agree. But you also have to admit that it is a scary game that you're playing when you're staying on that fence of you're not sure if you're gonna win next season, but you have a chance. So you'd rather stay in there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, and I agree. I don't think Arteta is gonna get fired, but I don't think it's insane to say that he should get fired if we don't win
And
anything.
trust me, I do not think it's insane to say he should get fired, right? Because then again, it would be like, you know how Moses brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, right? And then he didn't get them, taking them to the promised land. That would exactly be what this would be like, right? He didn't have that. He didn't have that, I'm saying, that patience to take them through. That's what it's going to be like. But
Yeah.
let's not forget the fact that Arteta has brought Arsenal from nothing to something,
Yeah,
right?
like
I'm not. Let's not dispute that fact because
Yeah.
when the talks about Arteta goes on, it's like, oh, Arteta is a nonsense manager. He doesn't
Yeah,
what?
but that's
Stop.
you don't listen to a lot of people, bro. Like the general football fan today, especially on social media, is so reactionary. They don't even have their own takes. They just say
Facts.
whatever
He
everybody's
just
saying, whatever
thinks, man.
take is going viral that week, everybody believes it. Genuinely.
Facts.
But
Bro,
before we move on to the PSG,
if you ask some of them, why do you hate Arsenal? They cannot tell you
they'll
or
tell
give
you
you.
Arsenal fans say Saka's better than Messi, bro, because one person literally. But ET, if you have any thoughts on it before we move on to the PSG Bayern game.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like he definitely deserves his respect. He did bring you guys out of the rubble, but at the same time, there's no shame in like, okay, he did what he could do. Let's bring in someone who is going to finish
Yeah,
the job, like
I agree with
someone
that.
I feel like if you bring in a Conte, even just for one season, you bring in a Mourinho, I feel like these are people who are going to win it.
2026 Mourinho? I don't
Huh?
know. I don't know about Mourinho in
I
2026,
No,
but
mean,
Arsenal fans will
Arteta,
revolt.
I get
Arteta,
what you're
Fans will
saying. I get
revolt.
what you're saying. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
but it's also though the fact that for me, this team has regressed. You said that this is a team that people fear. I don't fear like when we played Arsenal both times this season, there was no fear factor like on my part. I didn't have any fear because it's like, what is the attack? The attack is just not threatening. It's like I'm afraid of the fact that we're not going to be able to score. But do I think we're going to lose the game? Not really. I feel like what was it, 20? Was it 22, 23? The first time you guys finished second, I feel like
Yeah,
that
22,
was like the best football that you guys had played.
I would agree in terms of the way it looks and in terms of how attractive it is, but I don't think that football is viable
Yeah, it
in the
wasn't.
league today. I don't think any team plays like that right now. Genuinely, no team
If
plays.
we had the defense that we have now in
Oh,
2022, 2023,
oh,
yeah, we'll win
don't,
it all, bro.
don't start with that, bro. I'm gonna.
We'll win
But
it all, bro.
final thoughts on it. If I have to give my predictions, I think the first leg for the Arsenal game, the Arsenal Atletico game, I think 1-1 away. Wait, is the first game at the Emirates or
No,
at
no,
the
it's always going to be at the opposition's because
Metro? The
we finished
Metro
first.
section, yeah. So over there, away in Spain, I'd go 1-1. I think maybe Eze has been scoring the big goals these past couple games, and then maybe I don't know. I don't know who's scored for Atletico. Maybe Sorloth, maybe Julian Alvarez. It's always somebody. And
1-0
then
to the
I'd say,
Arsenal.
yeah, I think 1-1 over there and 1-0 at ours. That's how I think it's gonna go. What do you think, ET? If you had to predict.
I think I'm gonna go 2-0 Atletico in this game. I think
I mean, bro, you're not an Arsenal fan, so like, you
yeah,
don't want.
no, I'm gonna go 2-0. I think we'll get one from Lookman. And then I guess Griezmann. I'll go Griezmann.
I don't want Griezmann to score on me. If Griezmann does that celebration again, bro, in the Europa League, bro, that was one of the worst days of my life, genuinely. But moving on to the more attractive tie, probably the main event, probably the biggest Champions League tie this year. So maybe Bayern Madrid was bigger, but PSG Bayern Munich, Luis Enrique side versus company side, huge semifinal. And what does this mean for this PSG side who have won the treble? Are they potentially going to win 2 trebles in a row? Are they still in the cup in France and they're about to win the league?
Oh, let me see actually.
That's insane. I didn't even think about, because I've been thinking about if they're going to go back to back, but they could genuinely win 2 trebles in a row. I think they'd be the first side ever to do that. I remember I was having a convo earlier about if this PSG side can be considered one of the greatest teams ever if they were to go back to back. And I was getting some pushback. Some people were telling me no, but I feel like you can't deny them. Like, I'm not saying they're the best team ever, but they're in those convos, bro. For a team to win 2 trebles in a row, the type of football they play, the opposition they've gone up against, in the way they've dominated. Bro, Liverpool haven't had one easy tie these past 2 seasons in the Champions League. Every tie they've had is extremely hard. Liverpool, Aston Villa, Arsenal. This season they had Bayern, and who did they just beat?
Bayern.
Who did they just beat?
You're talking about PSG or Bayern?
Yeah. Who did PSG just beat?
They just
Liverpool.
played,
Again.
yeah.
Liverpool.
Wait.
Like, bro,
No, it was Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
There was a team
Liverpool.
before that, probably, actually. It doesn't matter, though, but my point is, like, these guys have constantly just been given the hardest opposition, and they dog walk them. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it was
not
Chelsea
even,
before that, then Liverpool.
literally, it's not even challenging. They make it look easy. The only thing I will criticize them for is they get a lot of leniency with their league, like in terms of rescheduling matches, they get a lot of leniency with League One.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, Luis Enrique is complaining that he's gonna have to play 15 games in 27 days. Like you haven't been the guy rescheduling all of these games for the rest
Try
of
the
the
Premier
season,
League
bro.
schedule.
Like,
Yeah.
yo, I
apparently
don't.
they're out of the cup. Apparently.
Oh, they're out of the cup. Thank God. Thank God. Two trebles would have been insane, bro. Two trebles would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But
Was it Leon that beat them?
I think so. That
I think
sounds
so.
right.
I remember something like that. But for Bayern, let's talk about for Bayern. Bayern have a big chance in this side. I feel like this side is, I wouldn't say 50-50, maybe 60-40, 65-35. But I think Bayern have a good chance at advancing. I think the way Olise has been playing, the way Harry Kane's been playing, Luis Diaz,
Is
like
Harry Kane gonna have a good performance? Is he gonna? Is
I
he
feel
gonna?
like that's probably the biggest factor for Bayern Munich going forward. Is Harry Kane going to show up in these next 3 games? This is legacy defining for Harry Kane. How old is Harry Kane? 30, 31 at this point. Harry Kane will not get many more chances at these big games, in my opinion. Like, I think for Bayern Munich, maybe the next 3 seasons, he'll be in these positions. And for France, for England, he maybe has 2 international tournaments left. Harry Kane needs to get rid of these narratives. Like people who say that Harry Kane doesn't show up in big games, he never scores, he always disappears. This is the time to shut them up. This is the time. If you want to end your career and be in this Lewandowski, Benzema, Suarez debate, like the Spurs fans constantly try to put you in, bro, you need to show up. That goal against Madrid was very good. He was very good across both legs, but that's a quarterfinal. You always show up in the quarterfinals. Always show up in the quarterfinals. That's my problem with Harry Kane. Like, bro, Harry Kane is genuinely one of the greatest players I've ever watched. But you can't put him in those convos, bro. You genuinely just can't. But what do you think? Do you think you have PSG or do you have Bayern?
I think. Wait, let me see where. Okay, I think PSG's at home. Those PSG fans are crazy. This team, I feel like is just too clutch. Like Dembele sees red whenever the going gets tough. Like
the only thing, like, I don't even have a logical reason to say that PSG will lose. It's genuinely just teams don't go back to back, bro. That's all there is to it. Like, that's the only thing I'm like coping with. That's the only reason I've been able to come up with is teams don't go back to back, bro. And Bayern Munich have a good side. Bayern Munich have a chance in that game. I don't know, bro. I'm not saying football is scripted or anything. I'm just saying, I don't think PSG are gonna win back-to-back Champions Leagues, bro. PSG
it would be really tough, and it'd be
like
really...
that same side that was constantly choking in the Champions League a couple years ago, all of a sudden just goes back-to-back. That would be so crazy, bro.
It would be historic, but I feel like you look at that team, Vitinha. I feel like it's just better than Pedri. I know this is a conversation, but I feel like every time
it's better than Pedri.
Yeah, every time I watch, to be fair, I don't watch La Liga, but every time I watch
the thing, bro.
Every time I watch the Champions League and I'm watching PSG, Vitinha always for me is like, wow, this guy is just amazing. He's bringing the ball up the pitch. He's in build-up. He's scoring goals. He's getting assists. He's taking penalties. He does everything. He wins the ball. You got João Neves. You got Zaire Emery. He was really, really good.
Fabian Ruiz, bro, Mayulu, all these random guys just are so good every time they step on the pitch. Bro, literally, I told you, I don't have any logical reasoning to give you why I think PSG is going to lose. It's literally teams don't go back to back. I don't think PSG are going to win back to back.
But my thing is also
the only thing I'm coping with, bro.
You go to the front line. These are like the clutchest. Like Doué scores in every big game. Dembele scores.
And he's arguably their worst attacker.
Yeah. Dembele scores in most of the big games. Kvara, he doesn't score in the league. When it comes to the Champions League, he's scoring goals. Barcola, he's terrifying to play against. And I feel like whereas PSG have really good fullbacks who are going to be able to defend, who are like Nuno Mendes is probably going to make it difficult for Olise, even though I think Olise is going to...
That's what I was going to bring up. Like, Michael Olise what I'll say for Bayern is they're not the favorites for sure. But the way Bayern fans have been talking all year, the way they've been talking about how good Michael Olise is, I've seen Bayern fans genuinely say he's the best player in the world. Like
I think
they
he's gonna
Michael,
get. I think he could be, and I think he will probably
that's what
get
I'm
the
saying.
best
Like
of Nuno Mensch, but he will make it hard for him.
no, 100%. But if Michael Olise is better than Lamine Yamal, like you guys have been trying to claim these past couple months, if Harry Kane is the best player in the world, the Ballon d'Or winner this season, like you guys have been claiming, they better show up and they better move the needle. Because if they are the two best players in the world, yes, PSG are tactically set up, like they're superior than you in terms of tactics. They have more depth. Barely, you have an amazing side. Don't get it twisted. But if you have the two best players on the planet, they better move the needle. I better see Michael Olise and Harry Kane put up two master classes and take you to that final. Because if so, you see those Bundesliga tax allegations, they will never disappear. They will never disappear. And no player will ever be respected for dominating the Bundesliga anymore. Because, bro, like I've seen a 35-year-old Lewandowski go from scoring 50 goals in the Bundesliga to not even getting 20 the next season in La Liga, bro. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying Michael Olise isn't amazing, but Michael Olise will not be breaking Messi records in any other league, even in League One, bro. Like, I don't know. That's how I think. But is he gonna prove me wrong? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're the best player in the world, and it's not because you're playing in the Bundesliga against the best team in the world, against the best backline in the world, other than Arsenal, you better show up and you better show me why your fans have been constantly putting you in those conversations. I'm sorry. This is the time. And Harry Kane, like we said, Gunnar, I know you weren't here when we were saying this. This is legacy defining for Harry Kane. This is, I'm not gonna say the biggest moment of his life, the biggest moment of his career. I don't know, but if you want to end your career and be in said conversations and be regarded as the player you actually are, because in terms of skill, in terms of ability, there's not 20 strikers in the history of the sport who are superior to Harry Kane. But there are so many strikers I'm putting ahead of Harry Kane in an all-time list at this point in his career. If you want to change that fact, if you want to enter yourself in those conversations, Harry Kane, you better prove me wrong. You better show up across these, bro. I don't know. I'm getting tired of saying this every season. I don't believe it's gonna.
Over 20 goals season, bro.
Appreciate you guys for coming on. Appreciate you guys for watching the vid. Let us know in the comments what you think. If you think PSG is gonna go back to back, what do you think that means for Luis Enrique, for Dembele? Can Dembele win 2 back-to-back Ballon d'Ors as well? That would be insane. Let us know what you think, your overall thoughts in the comments. Follow us on all socials. We'll put ET and Real Gunners links in the bio. As always, appreciate y'all for coming on. Like and subscribe. We'll catch y'all for the next one.